Okay, you're live.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good holiday season this month. Go ahead and call to order. Karma will not be here, so I'll jot down the notes tonight. So I'll be making notes. There'll be pauses. Sorry about that.
Genevieve, do you want me to take notes tonight?
Would you, Barbara? Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate that greatly.
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that.
Thank you, ma'am. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from November?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments on the minutes?
No.
No.
No, looks good.
Thank you, Barbara. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
This is David. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Joe, I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Barbara, you want to do roll call?
Sure.
Please, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Genevieve,
Aye.
David,
David, aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Carissa,
Aye.
Cynthia,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Brian.
Oh, well, Brian doesn't.
Okay, Brian.
Brian doesn't
I'm
count.
here.
Neither vote. It's a silent voter.
That's unanimous, right?
Yes,
everyone-
ma'am. So we'll move on to old business. Barbara, do we have any updates on Poet Laureate as far as the application and so forth this month?
No, I was waiting to hear any feedback from anyone, so I assume no one had any additional comments. If that's the case, then we'll go ahead and go forward. Does anyone have any questions from last time?
No, not for me.
Okay.
I'm
It's
good.
basically the same form. We just changed the dates pretty much. So if you guys are okay with that, then I will let Gwen know. We'll just move forward and I'll report back in January.
Will people from last year or last time be able to reapply again
Yes.
this time?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Barbara.
Sure. One question, who
Yes.
should we reach out to in terms of the Capitol or elsewhere to get some of the publicity out for the applications?
Do a press release for it. I'll ask Mitchell because
Okay.
since it's city business, maybe it can come from the PIO. So I'll double check with her.
Okay, great.
If you send it to me, the Arts Alliance, we have a whole poet group
great.
that meets monthly. So send it to me and I'll send it out to the group, and then I'll put it in our newsletter,
Okay.
in our
Okay.
website.
Maybe I can see if the city can do a press release for it, and then we'll share the same press release.
Yeah.
Great.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Elizabeth, did you have any gallery updates?
Are any galleries open?
Well,
That is the big question.
that's a tricky question.
As soon as they are open, please let me know. I have artists standing by.
Awesome. Oh, soon, hopefully, right? Grants update. So Karma did send me a little information. Joe, I know you technically don't have an update because you guys don't really have any new information for us about grants, but she did talk about how during your research that you guys figured it out that we technically, in order to qualify for most of the grants, that we need to have our own like friends of AIPPC,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah. And I think we're due to talk more a little bit after the holidays, but that's the upshot, is just as a direct public entity, we're not quite as eligible as if it goes through that mechanism.
Okay, so it limits the grants that we can apply for if we're like having it paid to ACF or,
Yeah.
Okay. Annapolis Community Foundation, for those who don't know what ACF is. So.
Yeah.
Me and my acronyms. Okay, and is that all you got?
Genevieve,
Yes.
Genevieve, this
Krista?
is Krista. Is that the association that we use, or I don't know if it's called association or what have you, the group that we use that Ellen had created at one time?
Yeah, Ellen sits on the board for that.
Okay.
It is Annapolis Community Foundation. We do have a balance.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've run our grants through there before, so.
Right. That was the one that came to mind when I heard that there might be some difficulties if we don't have our own friends of AIPPC. So
Yeah.
okay.
So what they found
Okay,
was
great.
that, yeah, it just limits the grants that we can apply for. So if we use Annapolis Community Foundation, as we have in the past, it has to be a grant that allows us to do that and not get paid directly. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then if we create a Friends of Arts in Public Places commission nonprofit, then it opens up the doors for us to be qualified for more grants and have more funding. So this is
Right.
this
Okay.
going forward. I think now we're at a point where we need to talk to legal in the city to see the probability of actually doing that, so we can do more funding, especially coming into next year. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is just an aside. I mean, the one that we are eligible for directly as a city commission is the NEA art in the city. But I still think we have to have a project. We have to figure out what we want to apply for before we pursue that. But the kind of rolling admission is every February and every June. So it feels like, to kind of shoot somewhat in the future is not bad for that one at least.
And how much is that one for, or is it very?
It goes up to 50. But just looking at what they awarded Maryland institutions last year, it looks like it averages between about 5 and 10.
Hey, Joe, is it any particular event? Does it cater towards any musical or theatrical?
It kind of leans more towards performing arts, but not exclusively. And there was at least one that was for a temporary kind of public art installation. Okay. I would say if you just look at the track record, it tends to go to a lot of live performance stuff.
Okay,
though.
Good to know.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. So when do we have to hit the February deadline?
I actually feel like it's probably too late.
So
but I don't think kind of reaching out to the person who's listed as the contact, which I can do easily enough, and just ask, start talking to them.
Okay.
I'm happy to have that conversation. So.
Okay. I was just thinking for our summer events, if we actually able to carry them through, that maybe they could help fund that.
It's the terrifying, the flip side is the terrifying federal processes that I think are just not for the nimble.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and this is why a lot of people don't do federal grants.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Public outreach updates. David, Chris, and I did have a side meeting in order to discuss going forward for our public outreach. If David and Chris want to talk about it, that's
I think we talked about that in the last meeting. We haven't gotten together since then. I think we discussed it at the last meeting. Because then we were talking about Midnight Madness and some other things that were going on. But yeah, I guess you can do the holidays. Haven't really had a chance to kind of reconnect again, and that's definitely my action item for the next week or so after the holidays to get together and group.
Chris has been.
This is Krista.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Krista. I've been trying to, under my own name, being sort of a cheerleader for AIPPC, for our musicians, for any of our artists, for any of our galleries, by posting on the Eastport Forum quite a bit. And then, of course, on my own personal pages. But I also went out and took some videos and pictures and, different things like that. And then I noticed that after that, some of the artists were starting to put more of their own things on our pages as well. Also inviting people to like our page and get more active and involved in it. We also did for the holidays, we put up some Christmas cards, some art on the Christmas cards and that sort of thing. And I think that was well received by everybody.
Yeah, the gallery, Gallery 57 that I'm involved in, we actually just had a meeting the other day, and they're like, Eastport Forum has been doing great stuff for us. It's like, hey, AIPPC connection. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Because customers have been saying, because we ask customers how they hear about us, where they've seen our work, whatever, and they've been telling us Facebook and Eastport Forum, and so we've got a new thing that we jot down now, and so my artists have been really
awesome.
And so I told them, I'm like, it's me, but it's us.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting that, that word out, and people are getting that visibility, especially with the Midnight Madness. I also, in addition, because, we are supporters of the community, and the restaurant community has been going through a lot of ups and downs as well. So I also have been actively trying to put the chef creations, or if there's any specials or things like that, it is an art also. So I think it may be a little bit of a stretch with art in public places, but I think that it's really wonderful when all of us can do whatever we can to support those initiatives.
I agree. Thank you, Krista, for all that work. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
She's been tossing.
Happy to help.
Yeah, she's been tossing things to me to put on our AIPPC page too. And we do have admin rights, so you guys can post on there. And Elizabeth too. I know Elizabeth is posting everywhere else. So
yeah.
It's just one more,
one more
page.
I have a team that does it. I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah, but just don't shy away from it. Like if you need to use it,
Yeah.
to promote, either let me know, send it to me, or go ahead and post it.
Yeah, I've been usually running it through you. You know me, I'm always the idea girl, and but I always want to make sure that the head of our group is in line with it too. So
it's all good. Thank you, Krista.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so structure review, it's cold, and we have not been out to do any structure review this month. Budget update. Everybody got the current budget and what we have left coming at the end of the year, which for Commacell, our budget does carry over, and we have a larger than average amount carrying over because we had to cancel our programming basically, and also our haven't been able to do our gallery events. So most of our promotion has been virtual, online, and donations to helping some of our community workers keep the arts flowing and our artists having some sort of paycheck during these times. So does anybody have questions, concerns, or comments on the budget that was sent out? So for the yearly report, I'll be taking what we have in the budget here and applying it to our programming for next year. Most of it will be spent in programming. We can look at some additional grants possibly. So I'm going to try to like section it out and kind of hold it just for everybody to see where the money's going to flow next year in the event that we don't get as much funding as we have been, because we are coming into a new fiscal year with a deficit, and I just don't know what's going to happen. I believe that there may be some more CARES funding coming in that can help, or something somewhere. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's best for us to play on the safe side and ensure that if we do have the capability of having our performances and our gallery exhibits and everything again next year, if we can open up, that we have the money there to do that. So I'll make sure that I pull that out into a spreadsheet and show what it would look like if we do start our programming in May going forward, how much money we would spend and all that. And then we can decide what we're going to do with the remaining budget. If we hold it over for the next year, just in case, or whatever. So it's a conversation we can have in January once I have the spreadsheets put together. Okay, any questions, concerns, comments on old business? If not, we'll move on to new business. Alrighty then. Okay, new business. Let's welcome our new commissioner, Commissar Brown Jr., and I'm going to give him the floor a little bit. So yay! We now have a full commission. This is awesome. And I'll let Commissar introduce himself and give it a little background.
How you guys doing today? My name is Commissar Brown. I'm an Annapolis resident. I attended the Art Institute of Atlanta. I graduated with a bachelor's in graphic design. I have my own business called South Spitfire Paintings and Designs. I've just been doing a lot of community work with my art, helping out the youth, helping out adults going through mental health illnesses, pretty much teaching art therapy. So I'm happy to bring my expertise and my art knowledge to the commission, and I'm pleased to be a part of it. So I thank you guys for voting me in and giving me this seat. So I'm going to give it up my all, and let's just pray for a healthy 2021.
Right on. Well, welcome aboard. I'm so glad to have you aboard, man.
Thank you as well.
Let me ask you a question about your art therapy. Who you work with? You work with any particular groups or agencies?
So I've been working with a group in DC and a lady by the name of Mariana. She has a company called Red Sprinkle.
Okay.
She partners with a few of the local community recs in DC. So that's one of the main groups that I work with, are groups of young girls.
Okay. The reason I asked my brother, my brother's he's been in mental health for the last 30 years, and a couple of his friends are also involved in mental health and art therapy and stuff. So definitely like to, again, start networking. That'd be great. We can definitely get you.
Yeah,
we can definitely catch up offline. That'd be cool.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Hello, this is Krissa. I just wanted to say welcome. I'm super excited that you're part of our team. This is wonderful.
Nice to meet you, Krissa, and thank you for that. And thank you all.
Thank you, Commissar. I'm very excited to have you here. And
you said you're a graphic designer?
Yes.
So what kind of work though do you do? Like,
mainly, I would say for the past few years, my main niche has been logo design and pretty much helping companies brand themselves. I also do a little bit of web design,
cool.
Fashion design. One of my most notable news articles about some of the art that I've been doing is my design work for Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yeah.
I helped design a lot of his MVP collection and his Pressure Wild Dog collection. So you head over to his website, you can check out some of that most recent work. But I also help a lot of the local clothing lines as well. One of the lead designers that I have is with Tunnel Vision. They're headed out of Severn, Maryland. We just did a big bike drive up in Mead Village community, and we partnered with Anne Arundel County Police Department, Fee, Anne Arundel, and a few United Black Clergy, and a lot of other partners. So that's just some of the work that I try to mix in with my artwork in the community as well.
Cool. Do you have a location here in Annapolis?
Right now I'm working from home, but I did have an office out of on Chickapin recently at the
I'm on Chickapin.
111 Chickapin. I was there for a year.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I'm on Chickapin. I'm next to Maryland Paint and Third Eye Comics.
Okay.
I'm the frame shop on the right-hand side, the annex, I call it.
I might need to come and actually see you soon for some of the stuff that I'm putting in my exhibit at Maryland Hall. So
Yeah, definitely. Stop in, please. I'd love to meet you and talk about anything. I can help it with anything.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lindsay.
And thank you so much for all that you did on the Carl Lester mural. I worked with Kevin Lebling on the initiative on that when it was first getting rolling, and I was super excited when he told me that he had you already lined up for that project, and that was fantastic. And that was a really hot day when we had the dedication of it, but it was such a wonderful day for everybody and for the community, and of course for Carl Lester and his family. So thank you again for that.
No problem. Thank you guys for helping put the initiative together. That was actually the first mural that I was a part of, where the partners kind of helped put together the funding and all of the donation efforts. And it made my job easy. And it was one of the quickest donation growths on a mural project that I've been a part of. So I feel like you did just as much work as I did. So thank you for that. And yeah, it was a really scorching day. Every time I look at the pictures, I had a t-shirt tied around my head that day. It was so hot because we were on the roof. So, but definitely a memorable and honorable job. So I was honored to be a part of that.
Anybody else have other questions for Kamisal? Okay. So I forwarded the email out from the Maryland Theater for Performing Arts, and they have a proposal to present to us tonight. Did everybody have a chance to look it over, read it through? Okay. If it was in the event that Kamisal could vote, he would actually abstain from this, but he hasn't been sworn in, so he won't be voting if this does come to a vote, just so everybody knows where we are with this. But we'll go ahead and let the NTPA join our meeting, and Ms. Fenton, and she's going to present a presentation for us on this project that Kamisal is involved with.
Hi, good evening. Can everyone hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. I was having some issues earlier. So thank you guys so much for having us tonight. We're really excited to present this new mural project with you. If I haven't met you, I know many of you, but my name's Maddie Fenton. I'm the executive director at MTPA. And we have so many wonderful outdoor performing arts programs scheduled at MTPA for 2021 that occur not just at our site in Annapolis, but all throughout Anne Arundel County, that at another date I would love to just share with you. Today, we're really focused on sharing our new mural project with you. I just want to start by letting everyone know that you see us now as MTPA. And in January, we are rebranding, so you'll soon see us as MC3, which will be the Maryland Cultural and Conference Center, which is what we'll be when this mural project takes place. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen. Okay, share. Oh, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start our project. We're calling this One Annapolis. It's a community art project. And with me today is our Director of Programming, Gemma Lehner, and Dr. Eric Elston, who's one of our board members. This has really been their vision for this entire project. So I'm going to hand over this entire presentation to them. Gemma, all you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maddie. Hi, everyone. My name is Gemma Lehner. I am the new Director of Programming at MTPA, soon to be MC3. This year, MTPA developed and implemented a programming mission to provide equitable access to innovative and dynamic arts programming to the greater Annapolis region. And when Dr. Eric Elston, one of our newest board members, came to me with this mural idea, I thought it aligned perfectly with our mission. And together, along with the artists, we've outlined our core goals for the project. So it's to unite the Annapolis community through celebration and memorialization of recent history, to collaborate with all cultures and generations by way of a community art project. So this will really be an intergenerational project. We want to employ and support local artists during a time that has truly been devastating to them, and then educate the community on Carr and Sparrows Beach and Annapolis's Black history. So we can go to the next slide. The location of this project will be at MTPA's outdoor venue, Stage 1, which is the stage that we use for all of our programming. It's located between West Street and Taylor Avenue in the Annapolis Arts District. And the mural will be visible to thousands of cars that pass by every day on Taylor Avenue, as well as all of the audience members that we have attend our outdoor performances and events. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering that was created by local artists Sel Brown and Mo Taylor. After researching the history of Carr's Beach, the mural perfectly captures its energy with brilliant colors and its history with drawings of artists who performed there, as well as its most distinguished host, Happy Adams. Carr and Sparrows Beach was an integral piece of Annapolis's history, and we have yet to create a memorial for it. And we believe that MTPA is the perfect place for this mural to be presented, because our overall mission is to build a new state-of-the-art performing arts center in our city that encapsulates what Carr's Beach achieved, which is an inclusive and welcoming environment for all.
And additionally, I just want to say it's also a perfect location. If you don't know, MC3 will be hosting Annapolis's first Juneteenth celebration. The VIP reception will be held right here at Stage 1 this summer. So this mural is the perfect place for that.
Mm-hmm. So now I'll be passing it off to Dr. Eric Elston to talk about our strategic partners.
So can we jump to the next slide?
Sure.
So I'm very excited as an Annapolitan and to be a program director. Can you jump back to the slide before? I'm sorry. A program director at Annapolis High School for the last 17 years. And now I'm currently in Prince George's County. But, you know, to have the community come together, you know, would be amazing. You know, generations, historians, influencers, and all the above, and also bringing together some of the other nonprofits in the community. So some of the letters of support we already have is Delegate Shanika Henson, the Base Legacy Center Board, historian Janice Hayes, area youth from diverse demographics from the Stanton Center, PBA Students Change Engineering. We also have the the Banneker Douglas Museum, Art Farm, What's Up Magazine. So ultimately, we want to bring a cadre of resources, relationships, and support together to catapult this. It's very important to us as board members to show that who the Annapolis community is and how we can create platforms to breed diversity and, you know, programming and have that platform. So that's where we're very excited about this project and, you know, creating the strategic alliance of the our board to, you know, to expand things. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Gemma?
So for our timeline, we are hoping to secure all of our funding and sponsors by February of 2021, and we'll be announcing the project with a live stream event that will incorporate several artists of color and performances. And the mural is set to be painted in March. Next slide. So for our financial request, we are requesting $2,500 from Art in Public Places to help cover artist fees, as well as your public support through the marketing of this project. Are there any questions?
Nobody has any questions for them?
Hi, this is Dave. Just a question. I was noticing the location. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but you basically only see it on the way back from Taylor Avenue. You won't be able to see it going down. Is that correct?
You head towards the circle.
Yeah, you're heading towards the circle. If you're coming from the stadium towards the circle, is the only place you'll see it?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's other ways we could, you know, we plan on doing virtual walks, you know, actually documenting, Janice Hayes has stepped up to do capture, the actual candid history of Cars Beach. So it's, we plan to step beyond just, the mural on the wall. So, that's
Okay.
why we're definitely advocating to connect with, Anne Arundel County Public Schools and to have more space.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
also it's important, I think, that we're really revamping our programming. So we have that outdoor stage there, and we're renovating the stage to make it bigger and more usable for the community. And we're going to start to have more events there. So all of the people that are attending events there and programs there will also be seeing the mural.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I go through that way a lot. My brother lives in Tyler. I mean, on Dewey Drive, and I've passed through there a lot, and I've seen your performances in the corner. But I know you would only see it on the way coming back. So I just want to make sure we it's great. I mean, Cars Beach. It's kind of interesting because my brother grew up in the Cars Beach area, and I know Mo Taylor. That's kind of cool. That's sort of a generational connection between past and present, and getting young artists involved in the Cars Beach project. So I think that's great.
And the key thing that I want to chime in, I actually taught Cell and Mo Taylor. And so, having that connection to my former students and kind of carving out the mentoring lane so they could reach back into the younger youth, that means a lot, to open up doors and create platforms. So I just want to.
Can you go back?
This is Krista. This is Krista. I just had a question about, so in other words, you will be having other youth in schools and people working on the project too, as well, right? Not just Commissal, or?
Yeah. Yes, the plan is to open up to.
I'm losing you a little bit. Hello? Can you hear me?
I think we lost him. It's
okay.
It's okay. The plan is to have other student groups help as well with the painting of the mural.
Awesome. And then my other question is, how long do you expect the mural to stay up there? So in other words, the life of the conservation part of the mural. So is there a plan for how long it will be up before then the next mural will be up? Or, what is the life of the mural is what you're anticipating?
We're hoping to have it up for as long as we can preserve it, as long as possible.
Okay.
And I think, and Maddie, you can speak more to how long the murals normally last on those walls, but we're also going to be video recording and capturing this entire process. So even when it eventually does have to come down and we are building this building, we'll have this whole thing captured on video and archived.
I just always look at thank you for that. I just always look at the conservation piece of a project and what's needed as far as the upkeep of it and, what the life of the mural or the artwork is expected in this form. So that's what I was inquiring about. But thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you go back to the slide that has the mural on it? Right. So on there, okay, so the pictures, which of course says a lot, but is there ever going to be like verbiage or something in there to explain what the pictures, what they're doing, who the people are, or is there a plaque or some kind of, what I find around the murals around town is that they're great, but they don't explain what they are. So,
yeah, so that's
like
an awesome, so that's an awesome question. And something that Cell was actually talking about was putting a big QR code on there, like painting a QR code. So people would just put their phones right up to it and it would come up with the Car and Sparrows Beach website, or maybe we even create a new website that would come up with information about it.
Yeah,
I think both.
great.
This is Krista. I think both could be done appropriately. Anything to get more information out about the artist, about the artwork, about Cars Beach. I think that's great. I was going to suggest the UBC code on that. So
yeah, a main point of this project really is to educate the community on Car and Sparrows Beach. I had never heard of it before we started talking about this project. I know a lot of younger people just don't know it existed, and after doing more research on it, it's something that's so cool and so important. So we're going to be taking taking that aspect of it, of actually educating the community on it very seriously.
And so that's going to be this summer is when you think you're going to get to it? Is that, what's the
March.
date on it that you're thinking of?
March, because we want to
March,
have it
okay.
up before the Juneteenth celebration.
Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan. Thank you.
Joe?
I had a similar kind of question about information about the images, because they themselves are such a kind of rich source. So you've kind of already answered that, but I just think anything, even on the wall, that's image credit, I think would be kind of important if that's possible, without compromising the integrity of the design.
We've been in touch with the Maryland State Archives as well, and they're on board with the project and really excited to give us as much information as possible as well.
Okay. I actually have a contact for one of the women in the picture in front of Hoppy Adams that I was going to contact, because AIPPC was looking to do a similar recognition to teach the history about Carr's Beach. There's also another memorial going in that's proposed in a new development over in Bemby Beach. And then the city is talking too about doing a tribute to Hoppy Adams, eventually the radio station too. So this would be a great kickoff to us all collaborating to get the history out of Carr's Beach, because it is a big untold story. Yes, Brian?
I just want to remind everybody, while it might seem burdensome, anything that we put in any words, we need to take it before the Heritage Commission, and they just make sure that things are spelled right, that things are historically accurate. So while it might seem burdensome, it's important that we make sure we let them do their job too.
Yeah, it saves us too if we do the signage right with the correct historical facts. So when you are talking about the photographer that took most of these pictures and the people in them or where they were and stuff, the Heritage Commission can proof that for you before you buy the signage, or we don't have to go back and change the signage later. So
if I can interrupt, Genevieve, this may be exempt because it's on private property, but they're still a valuable resource to use to review.
Yeah, I would.
Whether you need to or not.
I would use them just in case.
If we're using our money, city's money, we probably should, even though it's private property. We should just, the consideration I think would be appreciated by them.
Yeah, and that's something that we'll go through. If we give a donation, we have to outline, which leads me to my question, is that, so we're talking the time period of the piece existing, would that be on MTPA or the property owner specifically to maintain it, or if it gets graffitied or any of that going forward?
And that was my next question as well. Who's responsible for the maintenance?
Yeah.
MTPA would be, this is our property, we own it, and we take care of all the maintenance on the site right now. We pay $500 a month anyways for landscaping and maintenance of the existing mural, so we would be in charge of that.
Okay. What is the time frame on the existing Brazilian artist mural that you have there?
It's fairly new, so there's not much of a time frame. It's still in good shape, and we're planning on keeping it as long as it's still in good shape, and we don't have to do too much maintenance on it. So I don't have much of an answer for that.
That's okay. I didn't know if it was a 5-year thing, or sometimes we put limitations on that when that can be changed up or maintenance. So okay.
No, that was kind of with, since it's with Urban Walls Brazil, it was just kind of conversation with them when they felt like it was the right time. So
okay. Roberta's great.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions for them?
Yeah, Maddie, hi, this is Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
How are you doing? Give my best to your mother.
Okay.
I had a couple of things. I read over the application, and I think it was the category whether temporary or permanent, because I think it would be under the category of a temporary installation, because paint as a mural is is considered temporary, but just to get some feedback on that. And if there would be any way to have the art on frames, in other words, that it would possibly be movable when the time came that the theater was going to be built, just in order to preserve it, perhaps have it on an installational framework. Also, I wanted to ask the Hoppy Adams Foundation. I think they would be great partners to engage with. I have their contact information. I can pass that on.
That would be wonderful. We would love that.
I did also want to say that I read today that the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County was just gifted or given $1 million from the CARES package, end of year CARES package.
Mhm.
So I believe that the Arts Council of Anne Arundel County has a fairly large sum of money that perhaps you could apply through them. So once again, those are my thoughts, and I think it's a fabulous project. I'm so excited about it. It's just wonderful. I want to thank Dr. Elston, if he's still there. This is just really wonderful. I'm very enthusiastic about this, and have a wonderful new year. Happy, healthy new year.
You too. Thank you, Cynthia. It's good to hear from you. Can I ask, when the other applications that went in, they were temporary, I'm assuming, for murals?
For painted murals, yeah.
Okay, so we can just go ahead and change that in our application.
Yeah.
Well, just referencing, the art at large murals that have been up there now for 13, 14 years that are on a frame. They've lasted a long time. Their integrity is still really good. So if we wanted to have something, like Sally's murals around the city, if we wanted to be able to move it and have that on the same kind of a structure. It's just a thought. Anyway,
Sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, thank you so much for presenting. I really appreciate your time. It's beautiful.
Thank you. What would the next steps be with you?
So the next steps would be that the commission can have a discussion and whether they call it to vote to donate the money that you have requested.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. And I have to say, I've been watching all of your YouTube live streams, and I'm really excited by some of the things you guys are doing, and we'd love to be further part of it.
Awesome. Yes. Please come back. Yes. And talk about your future plans for 2021. We'd love to hear about them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you. Bye.
Bye.
Happy, healthy new year.
You too. How do I leave? Sorry, I'm leaving.
Yep, it's okay. That's Zoom for you. Do we want to continue the conversation with the request of the $2,500 from MTPA to help fund this mural project? David?
I'm sorry, Genevieve, did you say something? I was distracted. Little man came in and started yelling and screaming at me.
Oh, well, it's past your bedtime. I get it. He's got to keep you in line.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we want to continue the discussion regarding the request for the $2,500 from MTPA for the mural project? It's okay. So used to this. Cameos.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to vote. I think it's a fantastic project, and I think 2,500 is certainly within our budget. So a motion to.
Thank you, Cynthia. Do I have a second for the motion?
This is David. I second.
Okay.
Oops.
Joe seconds too. All right.
Joe, you can have it. You can have the second.
I'd like to second it too. This is Krista.
Let's all second it.
Let's just all second it. There we go. Okay. Well, we have a motion to vote then for funding. Barbara, if you could do the roll call, please.
I can unmute myself first. Okay, we'll start with Genevieve.
Aye.
David?
Aye.
David?
I'm aye. Sorry, I don't mute myself. Aye.
Okay, Elizabeth?
Aye.
Krissa?
Aye.
Cynthia? Cynthia?
Aye.
Thank you. Joe?
Aye.
And myself, aye. I think that's unanimous.
Wonderful. Okay, I'll turn in the paperwork. Thank you, everyone. So I met with Sean Wempler, who does our GIS story maps, and we're going to continue to do the story map. The city is revamping their website, and we're going to carry over the story maps into that. She and I discussed going forward how we have mentioned before, we would like to have a downloadable app in order to help promote visitation, tourism coming to town for our art, and people being able to do self-guided tours that they could easily do on their phone. They could ride the bike along the trails and find the different pieces. And she said that she believes that there is an integration software that will work with their current GIS that they use, so we can integrate it together. And so she's asking her people how we would go about integrating that. And then the next step after we get the information that we need as far as the cost of the software and developing the app with all of our artwork on it and the information for each art piece, then we would figure out whether that's funded by AIPPC or if that is a county initiative that we work with the county together or visit Annapolis or with the city. So that is the update on that.
Hey, Genevieve.
Hold on just a
I'm
second.
sorry.
Yeah. However, she would like us to update her to go through the story map for all of us in each of our wards. And if you see anything missing, like I know like SOFO added the pieces onto the fence. So then we would tell her about those so she can add those onto the story map. So I will send the link out for the story map if people don't know where to find it, and take a look at it in your ward and see if it's missing things, and she'll add them on there for us. If you can take a picture of it, that'd be great. Or we can send out Krissa. She's been doing some great photography. And Sean also said that she would stop and take a picture of it too. That's not an issue. So, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in regards of app, I mean, I know, building custom, I mean, my company, we build applications as well. Building a custom application could be expensive to maintain. If the website is responsive, there is technology called wrapper technology, which wraps the website.
Yeah.
So it gives you an app appearance. We can take it offline if you want to connect me with whoever you were speaking to. Just must be a more efficient, quicker way to get an app up and running and more maintainable and scalable.
Yeah.
Than having some company go out and develop a native app.
Yeah, that's
so we can talk offline.
That's that meeting that I had, the Google Meet that we invited you to, but you had a conflict in your schedule. That's
Right.
Sean Wampler. So you have her email address. But
okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
I'll tell her that we'll have a side conversation about it and see again.
Fantastic. Okay, cool.
Make this happen. I think it'll be very beneficial to us to have something that, the map already works great if you're from out of the city and you're looking for things to do in Annapolis. That works great, but also if they could put it on their phone once they're here and they're walking around. So it solves that problem that we're talking about. When you see an art piece downtown, but there's no signage on it, you're like, well, what is this? Like, what does it mean? Like, what is the mural? The John Lewis mural. Hopefully they would know what that is, but there could be a little bit of information about it on the app and they could click on it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I just want to make people aware that former commissioners did a lot of work on the catalog. That's really well researched by art historians. And it was last published in September of 2019. So it would be all of the pieces since September of 2019, since that went to press. So that'll make your jobs very much easier.
Yeah, and that's what the current story map is on the city. It is based off of the publication of the book. She would just
Right,
need,
the maps are all there, set out in the books, the art maps.
yeah, yep. And that's where she took the pictures and the information from and put it on the city site. So she just needs the 2020 updates. And if perchance there is something that you notice is missing, which I don't think there is up until 2019, but just take a look through the catalog and we can send it over to Sean and she'll definitely update it for us.
And that looks good. This is Krista. That looked really good. I saw that went out this morning, I think, on the AIPPC Facebook page.
Yes. Yep, I did post it.
I think you launched it. Yeah, you launched it today, and I thought that looked really, really good. With Comiso coming on board and being so fantastic with graphics and that sort of thing, I'm hopeful in 2021 that maybe we'll have some more spiffy things to be added to the page with collaborations from all the commissioners and all of our ideas kind of floating and really taking flight. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Another thing that I wondered about is, has anyone thought at all about doing some sort of an art treasure hunt where there'd be maybe some clues to some artwork and things like that? Has anyone ever thought about doing something like that? That might be, kind of a fun, come to Annapolis for a date thing, maybe for Valentine's Day. It might be too soon to do it for this year, but maybe next year or something like that. Has anyone thought about anything like that?
Yes, actually, that is part of the app. So you can use it as a scavenger hunt. We can do various things. We can also connect with local businesses that, if you find all of the items that you're supposed to find, you win a gift certificate to somewhere or, something like that. Or you can take a gift certificate to Elizabeth's Framing and, get a map, since you just used the map.
Do you think we could perhaps reach out to the Hallmark group and have them come and maybe do a Hallmark movie where they're using our artwork and do some sort of romantic scavenger movie and work with some of our screenwriters and wonderful film actors and
it sounds like a good pet project. Yes. You get on that one, Krista. Let us know.
Yeah, I'm just the idea girl. Remember, I'm just the idea girl.
If we started in January, we might have the new Hallmark holiday movie done, by December. So yeah,
we could even have bicycles could be involved with the bicycle path and all of that.
Wonderful. I love it. Yes. Let's discuss this more. We can do it in a break.
I'll send a note out to a friend of mine who just did one of the movies. He just actually wrote the screenplay for one of the movies that came out in the fall. So I'll send him a note on that and see if he wants to get on that.
Awesome. And then maybe the soundtrack could be written by John Mayer.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I like the way you think. We can have Chris come out and mix that for us.
He would love to do that. Yes.
Why him? We have plenty of great songwriters right here in Annapolis.
It's a side joke with Chris.
We'll take the discussion offline on that.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about it later. Okay, so we'll move on then to the summer programming, the proposed schedule. As we discussed in previous meetings, I'm going to propose that we start in May doing the planning, and that includes gallery events and our performance events. And if we have to cancel them, we have to cancel them. But the CDC did say by April that the vaccine should be widely distributed by that point. And of course, it'll be the city's call. But I think that we should have the programming done instead of trying to play catch up. Once they tell us to go, at least we're ready to go. And if we have to cancel bit by bit until they tell us we can go, then we do that. But so I was looking through May through October because the falls have been mild, and also because Bumper wanted to do a fall fest type activity in October. So maybe AIPPC could be involved somehow with, you know, the pumpkins being a form of art. We could have, you know, pumpkin carving contests or something along those lines. But I think if we can all compile our ideas from May to October of what we'd like to see in addition to what we generally have down at City Dock and with our gallery events, then we can do a proposed schedule that we can present to the city, and Felicia can double check her events that she already has on her calendar coming up for 2021, make sure there's no conflicts for doing things down at City Dock and et cetera. Then we can look at it as far as funding and how much that would pull from our budget, adding a few new events on there. We do have the carryover from this year, so we may have a little more wiggle room, but like I said, after I do the spreadsheets, we'll see where we are as far as spending the carryover that we have now and going into a year where we may not get as much money as we normally do. And we can figure that all out. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, is kind of piecing it all together. So if you could send me your specific ideas that you think would work well in your ward for an additional event, or, you know, outdoor music, and like we had talked about at the clock tower with Krissa, doing a little mini market with some artisans selling their stuff in the parking lot and having live music. So stuff like that. If you think that there is a need for that, send it over in an email and I will get it onto the proposed schedule of events for 2021. Elizabeth?
So am I planning for the gallery? Am I planning like events maybe in May, June?
Yeah, so in May, yep, just go ahead and
Okay, I mean, everyone's sort of been like holding off, and a couple of people email me, other people are just waiting for me to do something exciting.
Yeah.
But maybe May I'll project, starting, we'll go back to like 2 months, to every month. And so City Hall's gonna be open then?
Hopefully everything gets, and like I said, you know, we're just planning for the reopen, and if it reopens, then we go. If it doesn't, then we'll have to cancel like we did this year too. So.
Okay, I mean, I'll start to reach out to the artists because they're like ready to go. So like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
And say that's what we're planning, and then
yeah,
because there's a lot of, you know, they had to send me stuff.
Yeah.
And pictures and stuff. So.
And then also, if for some reason that we're in May and we have stuff planned, we do have enough time between January and now to plan to take that virtual if we have to. So we could do something virtually for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's not as much fun, but
yeah, art's touchy feely. You gotta.
I know, but it's a backup plan. So just in case.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
This is Krissa.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
Yeah, I think you have to really keep in mind to work closely with Hillary if she's on this call. I know it's a tremendous amount of work because she has to draw up 25 separate contracts for each of the performers. So if we have the summer concert series at City Dock, which I hope so, but I think the City Dock Salsa and City Dock Tango, those were the two most well-attended events, drawing sometimes 250 to 300 people. But I would say it is a burden on Ashley to wait until May, and then she'd have to draw up 25 contracts. So we just want to keep her in mind.
Okay, so Cynthia, on the schedule, the planning schedule I sent out, it has a proposed time frame up in the top left corner, and it actually states that we would pull permits earlier than that. The events would start in May, but
I'm not talking about the permits. Felicia does the permits. I'm talking about the contracts that Ashley has to draw up, each individual one.
Right, so the contracts that go along with the permits would be pulled up and done at the same time. So we wouldn't wait till May. We would already have that already all drafted up and ready to go. Krissa, did you have?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in. Cynthia, I think that's a really good point. And anything that we can do to help the city to, you know, not have that last minute influx, I think that's a really good point, Cynthia. But getting back to what Elizabeth was talking about and of course, all of the artists that want to be seen in the galleries and all that. One of the things that happened impromptu, which weekend? It was either last weekend or the week before. I think it was last weekend, actually, either Saturday or Sunday. I've lost track because I've popped into so many different events that people were doing, was a pop-up winter market that was in West Annapolis, right across from Evelyn's restaurant in a parking lot there. It was something that was put together, I think, pretty quickly for some of the artists that wanted to, and vendors that wanted to show their wares right before Christmas and have, one last kind of pop-up event. And they had done it the weeks before as well. And they had the one weekend where Santa Claus came, and that was kind of a draw. They had nice winter foods and things like that were out there, drinks and things like that. And so, Elizabeth, I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts on if things are not a go with the galleries? Is there something else that we could do for the artists that was something that was more open air? Like Genevieve just mentioned, there's been discussions about us doing something like that over at the Clock Tower. It's been done quite a few years ago now. I think the Alliance and some different artists had some pop-ups a couple years back. And I think we could do that again coming up. But with the COVID, it does press some concerns for me. Safety first, always. And there is that second strain that's coming now. They anticipate that it will be coming out a little bit more in force in the next, month or two. We'll know more, but I don't know. The time moves so quickly, so I'm just not sure what everyone's thoughts are on this. I mean, I want to get excited about getting more art out there, but I also want to be responsible to our governor and also, to everyone. And I know you all do too. So what is your thought on that, Elizabeth?
Well, first Sundays, of course, start up in May, typically, although it usually rains, it does.
Right.
I actually talked to Eric about that. I think the last first Sunday, it was like, there were hundreds of people there. We were all masked, but there were hundreds of people there. We, in the gallery, it was a phenomenal day for us. So, with First Sunday starting up, I feel like that's kind of like the kickoff to be able to do events as well.
So, okay. So you still feel that we can get into the galleries and actually get the galleries up and going at that time? You think it's going to be still safe for everybody? The other thing, Rob Levitt had his group out there at the City Dock, and they put, we had donated some money towards that project, and they had some of the kids' works there that they had done with one of their initiatives, and it was a super windy day. I went down for that and caught the back end of it, but they did have to pull some of the works down because it was just so windy. But they got some interest. There were people that were out and about that day, so that was positive. And so I guess that's what I'm sort of thinking outside the box, that if people are still not comfortable going indoors to go to an actual viewing or an opening, could we consider doing something that was more outdoors related? But I don't know. I saw the vendors doing it in West Annapolis, and I think it went pretty well for them, but I don't know. So anyway, I just want to mention that.
Yeah, the WABA, West Annapolis Business Affiliation, they put that on, in which we,
Hillary.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to say that in our discussions of opening the city buildings, I don't expect them to open until July. Like when we talked about meetings and things. So I wouldn't expect any gallery, though Pip Moyer will probably remain open.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, in Genevieve, I'd like to push to get into the Stanton Center for, to just bring that up. I have never been in the Stanton Center, so I need to get in there, first of all, just to see what kind of space it is. And then, so maybe Stanton could be the first two, and then the city City Hall could be last, depending on when that's going to open.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I just want us to be realistic in the process. I mean, I know we get excited about wanting to go forward, and everyone has been, our wheels have been sort of, just kind of churning here, wanting to get started on some things. But I do want us all to just be realistic. So anyway, that's all.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's why we would have the backup plan of doing virtual in the event that if we can't go into the galleries, then we need to look at the virtual promotion online somehow of having a show. Like maybe we could even do a video recording, similar to Annapolis Discovered does, where, meet the artist and then they show their work and have a little interview. Or maybe we could do something like that for our virtual art exhibit, and the artist could show a few pieces and talk about it, and then
we could do a Facebook Live.
Right, exactly.
The gallery, our gallery, we've been doing it more. We're doing it again next week for Artist of the Month and stuff. And now we have new equipment. It's quite exciting because of our COVID grant we got from the Maryland art people.
Yeah, and that is a good point. There, we may want to invest in getting equipment if we're going live to do these sorts of things. Maybe we need to get our own equipment for that sort of thing. So anyway, that's for another discussion.
So actually, I would have to double check, but the city does have its own TV station. So this, AIPPC is a city commission. So we may be able to use some sort of partnership with the TV station to do some filming. So
Genevieve, we actually had talked about this in the past. I don't know if David, you remember, when Ellen was still the head, we talked about utilizing the studio and maybe having, program. We were talking about Annapolis, where art is everywhere. That was the name I came up with, where we would have people, like you said, artists come and then show their work, or maybe do like virtual tour of the different places around the city.
Yeah, and interview. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that could still be back on the table, especially now with COVID, since that can be done.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. And I love that idea. That's one of the reasons why I tried to get out and about and do some filming, taking some pictures, all of that. So more of that, I think, is what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Elizabeth,
Sounds great.
Elizabeth, you have been doing a great job, just fantastic. I did want to say at the Stanton Center in the lobby, there used to be a little exhibit of African art. Larry Griffith had put it together, some pieces that were donated that was in the lobby. So they used to have a little gallery right there in the, right when you go in. By the way, Genevieve, I looked through all my emails. I couldn't find the email about programming. So I think you might need to resend that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Where's the where did she say the gallery was?
The gallery, right when you walked into the Stanton Center, it used to be there in the reception area.
Oh, there it is. Okay, you see, I had to get there. Whenever it's open, let me know.
So
I used to work
technically,
there at the outreach clinic. They had a clinic there. I worked there. Yeah.
so we will have to, what?
Just a quick question. What's your timeline for getting all these suggestions?
Oh, well, on there, so on the schedule that I sent out, planning the events starts tonight and ending on January 10th, because I would like to hand in a proposed schedule along with the yearly report to the city. So that would be on January 15th. We hand that in. That's the last, and then on the event schedule, I have it listed that at that point, after Felicia looks at it and lets us know if there's any conflicts with schedule, whatever, we make adjustments, and then we start booking the artists. So like I said, if we can't have the events in person, then we'll make sure that we are doing it virtually. And we can do the Facebook Live and we can run it through AIPPC's page, but paying them for their time to do that. So we're, bringing art still, it's just at a virtual platform and not in person. Then we'll do the finalization, which is the contracts and so forth. That would be at the end of February and through March. And then the permit applications would be at the same time. So, and if you didn't get it in your email, let me know. Like Cynthia says she can't find it, so I will send it back out. Anybody else have any questions about summer programming or suggestions?
Oh, when did you send it out? I'm looking for it. I can't find it.
Okay, let me look for the timestamp for you. While I do that, did everybody look over the yearly report draft as well?
Have not had a chance to do that yet, but that's on my list of things to do.
Okay. So it is titled 2021 event schedule, and it went out at 5:40 p.m. And it went out to everybody. And I'm forwarding it again to you, Cynthia.
I don't have that either.
Sorry, what's it called?
It says 2021 event schedule. I'll just send it out to everybody again. And then I know Krista got the yearly report draft. Did everybody else have a chance to look at it?
What? I'm sorry.
The yearly report draft. So I sent out the yearly report draft. Bless you. And it's not completely filled in yet because I need a little bit from all of you in order to fill it in. And it also included the 2019 yearly report that David, Karma, and I put together last year. And so you have a general idea of what it'll end up looking like. This year, we're going to break it down by wards, and we can report on the art that is in your currently in your ward. Anything that needs to be maintenanced, have attention towards it, marketing it, more exposure. If you feel any additional art pieces that you would like in your ward, any performances that you would like in your ward, any other things that art could do in the ward, whether it's classes or community building interaction and so forth through the arts, put it all in an email and send it over. And if you could compile it into a paragraph yourself, that would be great, because then I can just copy paste it right into the report for you. If you need me to put it together in a paragraph, I can do that as well. And you can pull pieces from the 2019 report if you need to. For Joe at large, just send us your ideas for everybody. Would be great. And
that was my question. And I would also say, as an at-large person, if you need editorial help or some other things, since I'm not doing anything ward specific really, I'm happy to do that.
Great, that'd be awesome. So I can have you and Karma do the final editorial, and it'd be awesome. Thank you. And then a little bio about yourself. Just a small paragraph, just so the council knows who is sitting on the commission. We've had a few new members, so we'll put that all together. And just remember that the yearly report, it is basically our report card, and it tells the city and the council all of the work that we are doing, all the work that we want to do, how we want to progress forward as a commission, and we're selling ourselves to them in order to keep our funding. And it is really crucial that we include everything that we can think of in there in order to keep the arts going in Annapolis and keep it funded. So I think it's a very important thing for us to all collaborate on and make sure that we're not missing anything in there when we submit it on January 15th.
Genevieve, what's the deadline to get our paragraph to you?
So I'd like it a week before, so if I could get it by January 8th, that would be great.
Thank
And
you.
give us enough time to do editorial on it before having to hand it in on the 15th. Any concerns, questions, comments, additional thoughts to add to that? Okay, so just, as I said, have those in to me by the 8th, that'd be great. And we are now in open discussion. And does anybody have anything for open discussion? Nobody? Okay.
So I do.
Oh, give it to us,
Of course.
Elizabeth.
Art. So just a little thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just to say it out loud, but I'm going to tell people because I'm excited. So the gallery, the Arts Alliance Gallery, 57 West, has been open for 5 months, and in those 5 months, we have made over $100,000.
Awesome.
Huge accomplishment in COVID times, as people keep saying.
Yes, yay, yes. Applause,
So
applause.
we're thrilled. You know, the artists get 80% of that.
Yeah.
So we are like beyond the artists. They keep telling me like, I didn't think this was gonna go so well. I'm like, I saw it. I saw the vision, you know, and my team, you know, of course, is amazing, and the Alliance is amazing and stuff. So just kudos that someone's buying art, you know,
Yeah.
and in the different places and stuff. So.
Carissa?
And yeah, this is Krista. Elizabeth, did you say, what were all the sources that they said that they heard about Gallery 57? Was it, do you feel that it was more from the articles in the Capitol, or things online, or the artists themselves, or like what would you say were maybe the top 3 things that were bringing the people through?
I think definitely social media. I mean, my social media team is huge. My marketing team is huge, meaning like there's 6 or 7 people on that team. There's one Instagram and one working Facebook, and they're working, you know, one's doing the morning, one's doing the evening. We actually got flagged by Facebook, which I didn't know was a thing, that we were posting so much. Yeah. Who knew? We didn't know. Now we know. So social media
is that a good thing?
Yeah, I know. It was like the funniest thing when I went on there. And then of course, word of mouth. I mean, my business is like that. Word of mouth is huge. Right. And toward the end, people were like telling us like my friend told me to come down here to see what you guys had, and you're changing it up every couple months, and you know, because the artists are bringing in new stuff constantly. We actually just we have a call for artists out now for our February, because it's every 3 months, so February, March, April. And honestly, we require the artists to do a lot of work. I mean, it's a completely co-op.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the artists have to work 20 to 24 hours a month. They have to be on a committee. They have to go to a meeting every month with me. They have to like be on different committees that meet separately. You know, we're asking them to do a lot for their 80% and work. Yeah. And they do it. I mean, they love it. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Huge success.
Congratulations on that. I'm so glad to hear that.
Thank you.
I really am.
Yes, and thank you for the great Christmas presents.
Yeah, yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's your leadership, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
I have a great team.
Anything else for open discussion?
Just a quick thing. This wouldn't have fit under our events discussion before, but I had mentioned this to you before. I would love to figure out a way to partner up with the Pride celebration somehow.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of, particularly on the visual art side of things, if possible, but it really all depends on what they have the capacity for, I think. But anyway, just putting that out there, and I'm happy to have that conversation with those organizing folks.
Are you thinking just Pride Month, or throughout the year doing something, maybe gallery exhibits or something? Or
that sounds amazing. It also sounds very ambitious. I mean, I would say certainly start with Pride Month and also kind of use it as a feeder towards Pride Weekend, which all just got kind of derailed this year, obviously.
Yes.
But, you know, and I know there's kind of a question mark about the timing even this year, but still, I think I would rather start small and kind of see what comes out of that conversation and kind of grow it up from there. So.
Yeah, or even if it was a virtual event in 2021, maybe we can work together for the music or the art or something. Yeah, it'd be great to have some live art being created.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'd like to work on that with you. We have new board members coming in, and one of them, I was talking to her the other day because we're planning our calendar in a couple weeks for the year, and she said, I want the Alliance to have a float, you know. At the Pride. I'm like, yeah, let's do that, you know, like
yeah.
So I would love to be that, or bring Morgan with me, you know, so we can all meet, because she has some great ideas. She's young too, which is, so her ideas are nice and fresh.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, and so it is stuff like that. So like Joe, like you want to do something in Pride Month, you know, send that over and let's figure out how that fits into the calendar and what we could do event wise, and and then make sure that we have a backup plan if it does have to be virtual, that we have plan B if we can't do plan A. So and that applies for anything all through May through October. So send them over.
This is Krista. I wanted to know, Brian, you're here, right? I thought I heard you. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm still
Brian?
here.
Okay. What's happening for the musicians with AM/FM with regards to New Year's Eve? Is anything going on at all for New Year's Eve? I know the restaurants are on hold. They're still getting remarks on the court case for whether or not they're going to be able to do indoor dining. And I wondered what was happening with regards to New Year's Eve, which is normally, you know, in the past, Annapolis and dining and all of that is a pretty, you know, pretty big night for our town, and first night and all the activities and fireworks and all that. So since none of that is happening, what is happening? Is there anything that is going on with musicians that they could be supported in or not? I mean, I know it's just a couple days away, but anything that I can do to help promote it, or we all can do?
Nothing that I know of, but I will say AM/FM's Christmas show went really well. We also have received some grants from the County Arts Council and stuff, and so
awesome. Okay.
While we were
and you did a great job, by the way, on those videos. You guys pulled those together. You know, you really did a great job on those.
Well, we were founded on a kind of a lost gig. It was our first, the way we kind of got started. Then we went on to have a catastrophic fund and an educational fund. Well, nobody's losing any gigs because there haven't been any, or very few.
Right.
And so now that we've been so successful in some of their fundraising, we've got some big plans for some grants that should be, the information will be coming out in a few weeks so that we can try to help all the musicians in the area.
Okay, great.
Brian, we need the WPA.
Yeah, and the CCC and a lot of things. Yeah, have you seen any of the articles recently about bringing back the
CCC?
The WPA stuff that helped the artists?
Yes, that's what we need.
Yep,
That's what
we sure do.
And the WPA. There was some great art created during those WPA years.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I wrote my master's thesis on the WAP, the Works of Art project.
Love to read it.
Last night's episode of Ari Melbourne on MSNBC had a segment on it, and the guy that's won like 12 Tonys and he's only 31 years old. I can't remember his name right now, but he was on talking about trying to revive that and working with Biden to try to bring that back.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Joe, how would you feel about giving a little virtual talk about that subject, and people could just jump on Zoom and hear more about it, because I'm afraid a lot of the younger folks aren't aware what the WPA did and how successful it was and what great art was created, and along with the CCC, what wonderful parks were created during those years of the Depression.
Well,
Joe, I'd actually be interested in reading your master's thesis. And
trust
went
me,
down-
you would not.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna
No,
find it. I'll send it out
no.
to everybody.
That was like so long ago.
Yeah.
I'm a little rusty on the WPA, although I will say I just had a conversation with a former student explaining to him that there was this thing called the easel section where they just paid painters to like be in a studio and like produce paintings all day. And he was like, wow, imagine that. I'm like, I know.
We invested again. That'd be
Yeah.
fabulous. I agree. Well, we should have somebody from the commission go work at the White House. Joe, what you doing?
Not much right now.
Yeah,
Any-
don't laugh too hard about that one, because
I know.
you never know.
That's right. Never know. Anything else for open discussion? Okay. Thank you, Commissel, so much for joining us. I'm so happy to have you on board and look forward to working with you and expanding our outreach. Do I have a motion to close out the meeting? None of you
I
are
make a
jumping on-
motion. This is Krista. I'll make a motion to close out the meeting if no one else has anything else to add.
Happy healthy New Year.
This is David, I second.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, David. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Can I get my first
Bye,
official
everybody.
aye?
Happy New Year.
That's right.
Happy New Year.